So, welcome to my season review part 1. I'm going to take a look at the first 11 games of our season, dissect how the game went, how we were doing, and basically the general view from a fan point. Obviously, we started the season without Arsene Wenger for the first time in 23 seasons. He had been there for over 2 decades. He was a massive part of the football team, let's be real. Whether you loved him or hated him towards the end is irrelevant. He is a big part of our history as a football club. But there was new optimism. The fans had come back. The empty terraces of the last season of his reign, they pushed the button and Arsene Wenger left the football club. Unai Emery was the man in charge and he was the man to try and guide us up the table. No harder task than the first game of the season against the current record-breaking champions who got 100 plus points. They were all singing, all dancing Pep Guardiola's Man City. It was not an easy start for Unai Emery. We all went to the game opening day of the season thinking, what is going to happen here? I was at the game, desperately wanted to get to the game. I got there and I'll be honest with you, Man City, they started the game off how Man City start the game off, controlling the tempo, pinging the ball around. They got an early goal. But the fans in the crowd, they were not having it. They were like, no, let's back our team. There was a renewed optimism in the stands. And even when it went to 2-0 down, we still had hope. And I'll never forget, Mesut Ozil had a chance. And 9 times out of 10, Ozil will control the football perfectly. But he was clean through, the ball's bounced off of him. He could have rounded Edison and made it 2-1 with 10 minutes to go, but it weren't to be. The fans left the ground and it was a case of, well, did we expect anything else? Probably not, it's Man City. We rolled on to the next game, the champions of the year before. It don't get any easier. We were playing Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We're 2-0 down inside the first 20 minutes of the game. We're all deflated. We're thinking, oh my God, what is going on here? There's no change from the season before. And then bang, bang, Mickey and Iwobi scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to get us back on level terms. Scenes in the away end. I swear to God, I must have flown 4, 5, maybe 6 rows down. Everyone's on the floor. We're thinking, wow, this is the Arsenal we want to see. Iwobi missed a couple of sitters, Aubameyang missed a sitter, Mickey missed a sitter. We genuinely could have been 5-2 up at half time. But we went into the break at 2-2. We come out second half and I think we went into our shell a little bit. Mesut Ozil got substituted in the second half, arguably his worst game of the season. And listen, at the end of the day, it weren't to be. Morata done us 3-2, a long ball over the top. Our midfielder pushed all the way up. Mustafi was isolated one-on-one. The rest is history. We are now 2-0 and not in the right way. It was 2 losses, 0 wins. We are now sat at the bottom of the table. All the Wenger lovers from the season before are thinking, be careful what you wish for. All the, the adoring fans that are thinking, come on, this is a new generation. It's a new start. It's a new Arsenal. We're thinking, did we do the right thing? We move on to West Ham. In the lead up to West Ham, there was talk that Mesut Ozil had an argument with Unai Emery and stormed out of the training ground. Everyone was in anticipation to, will Ozil start the West Ham game? After the Man City game, Unai Emery had called the players out and said they need to work harder. Against Chelsea, he hooked Mesut Ozil. Against West Ham, he wasn't even in the squad. So now we're thinking, wow, he's dropped the highest earner. We go into that West Ham game. Again, I was at the game. Felipe Anderson caused us mayhem in that game. We were riding our luck. Snodgrass missed an absolute sitter in stoppage time in the first half. He could have put the game dead and buried, but he didn't. And we ended up winning the game 3-1. We were 1-0 down, we come back. Welbeck scored, Monreal scored, and then we scored in stoppage time to completely kill the game off. It was a Welbeck goal in stoppage time. So yeah, we won the game 3-1. We got our first 3 points on the board. We all leave the Emirates buzzing with our first win of the season. We then move on to Cardiff away. Cardiff hadn't scored a goal all season out of the 3 games before us. Guess what? They scored 2 against us. Santa Claus Arsenal gifting them 2 goals. But with an absolute banger. Lacazette pulled us out the mire in the 82nd minute. Close control in the box, quick feet, and pinged it into the near post. Absolute screamer. We've now got an away win. We're one behind the season before on away wins. So we move out of that game. We move into the Newcastle away game, back-to-back away games, something Arsenal do not like. I was at the Newcastle game. Thanks for that, putting us in literally the clouds, 18 flights of stairs, and I was right in row Z in the upper tier. We went 2-0 up. We only had 2 shots on target that day. Granit Xhaka scored an absolute banger of a free kick from 30 yards out, swerving all over the place, straight in the back of the net. And then Mesut Ozil, he scored the second goal, a lovely little finish. They nicked one back in stoppage time, but we held out. Back-to-back away wins, something we hadn't achieved for months. Is this a new Arsenal? We've now got our Arsenal back, have we? 2 wins in a row. We then move on to Europa League action. We have Vorskla at home at the Emirates Stadium. Aubameyang scored a brace. Mesut Ozil scored in back-to-back games. It was going well. Yes, we conceded a couple of goals, but nevertheless, 3 straight wins in all competitions. And we go rolling onto a home game against Everton. Again, Everton could have been 2, 3, 4-0 up. They were missing sitters. Richarlison, Theo Walcott, Bernard. Absolute sitters. We ended up riding our luck. We rolled out of that game 2-0. And again, Lacazette, the saviour. He actually scored Arsenal's goal of the month in that game. Aaron Ramsey passed him the ball. He jinked round 2 and pinged an absolute screamer in the top bins, right on the postage stamp. Aubameyang with the second. Again, Ramsey claims an assist, but he technically fell over the ball. And I'm pretty sure Aubameyang was offside, but who cares? We've now won 4 games in a row in all competitions. Something we hadn't done for a long, long time. After that game, we're in the League Cup game. We're playing Brentford. We're at the Emirates again. Welbeck scores a brace. Lacazette. We stroll straight through round 1. We move on to Arsenal versus Watford. Another home game. Again, Watford could have been out of sight in the first half. We rode our luck so badly. Save after save, block after block. They were ripping us apart down the wings. But we rode our luck. We then bring Alex Iwobi on and he completely changed that game. And we run out again. 2 shots, 2 goals. 2 shots on target, 2 goals. Game changer, like I said, was Alex Iwobi. Mesut Ozil scored again. That's 3 in 4 games for Mesut Ozil. Now we move on to Karabag in the Europa League. We're flying all the way to Baku. Funny enough, we're back there again. Baku again, as troops would say. But we've now got Baku. We play the young kids. We play a mix and match team. Socrates scores his first goal for Arsenal Football Club. Emil Smith-Rowe, he also scores his first goal. But not only that, Matteo Guendouzi scores a nice little 20-yard place shot into the bottom corner. We are strolling on in that group, 2-0 in the group. We're now doing all right. We move on to Fulham away. Fulham away was the game that Arsenal fans sung, "We have got our Arsenal back." We were struggling in the game, if I'm being completely honest. At half-time, it was 1 apiece. We then bring Aaron Ramsey on. Within minutes of Ramsey being on, he scores one of the goals of the season. Nice little flicks. Mkhitaryan rounding it round the corner to Aubameyang. He squares it back to Ramsey and he backheels it into the back of the net. We're now winning the game. Aubameyang scored 2. He had been on the pitch literally 5 minutes. 2 shots, 2 goals. We end up rolling out of that game 5-1 winners after Lacazette scoring early on in that game. And that game, that was a change for our season because it was fantasy football. Lacazette scored a couple of goals and went and celebrated with Aubameyang. That's where the handshake come in. They were celebrating. Aubameyang came off the bench, ping, 2 goals in 2 minutes or whatever it was. Aaron Ramsey scored one of the goals of the season. And the Arsenal fans are now thinking, wow, we've got our Arsenal back. And it was good times. At the end of the day, everyone is now on board with Unai Emery. The players were running around like headless chickens, literally chasing everything down. The passion, the desire, the will to win from the team was evident. The first 2 games didn't set us back as badly as everyone thought it was going to be, and we started rolling up that table. That's the end of part 1. So come back tomorrow for part 2. Don't forget also, go back and check out my transfer video from this morning, daily transfer update. Stick a massive thumbs up on the video. Go follow my Instagram as well, LeeGunner82. DM me, tell me you followed me, I'll follow you back. Until tomorrow with part 2, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.